Hey, I'm Tommy Akridge, Tommy Akridge Designs. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I've got this bowl here. I rough turned this. This is a water oak. I rough turned this on 11/24 of 2014, so it's a little over a year old. And back then, I didn't know that you should really round your corners here to keep your bowls from splitting. And as you can see in this bowl here, it had a termite trail in it that I kept in it, and it cracked. There's the pith, what was left of it. It cracked from there to there. Today we're going to see if we can fix this. I'm going to inlay some wood in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cross in it, and then put some epoxy in this to make it look like it's a scene on the side of this. I've looked on internet and I've really not seen anybody do this, so I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I'm going to try it anyway. So this will be my first attempt at it. I know that first thing I'll do is I'm going to true this bottom up, put it back on the lathe, and get my top squared off, and I'm going to take a segmented piece and put it around the top. I'm going to try to lock this together. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to put a pipe strand around this so that it doesn't have any chance of just coming off. I'm going to try to keep it tight. So, alright, well, we'll get started and let's see how it turns out. Okay, first off, what we're going to do here, we're going to true up this top. You can see I got my strap on here. So let's go ahead and true this up. Putting some pencil lines on here and then sanding it flat. Alright, gonna take a minute here to explain what I'm doing. I took this clear pine and I've made 8 segments. These segments are going to go on the top here, and my purpose of this is to tie this gap together, and I'll make sure that a full segment is sitting on top of that so it'll hold it together. And then my piece I'm going to do will be into here. So here I'm going to take this collar and run it through my template, and going to make 2 passes on this, get the depth. Okay, I've slowed down a little bit. I see I got my ring done. Take it out here. I made it this big just because that was the stock that I had. It's going to go on top here. And the purpose of making them this big on my sections is I want one of these to land right on top of that crack. And hopefully that'll hold that right in place. Give it strength across it this way. Now I've left the band on it, and I have left my chuck on it because I can go back and forth to the lathe and nothing changes. So it's good when you have more than one chuck, you can do that kind of stuff. And this is my little cross that's going to go in this piece of wood. I'm gonna inlay it in, and you saw me working on that with the router. And you know, just to let you know that I do make mistakes. This was number 1. That was number 2. That was number 3. And this is it here. Finally, when I got it where I wanted it, I cut it as close as I could on the chop saw, put it on the table saw, ran it through until it popped loose. So. This oak wood was rough on these tools. I had to sharpen a lot to keep the edge on my tools to keep from getting tear out. So. Time to do a little cleanup on the inside. Here I'm trying to get my bowl thickness down to the thickness of the cross, the insert piece that I'm going to put in. The drill bit only goes so deep, so I want to make sure that the depth of the insert piece is going to make it all the way through. And let's go back to the sharpener. Okay, this is the plan. I cut my little cross piece out right here using this router and this collar. And what this collar does is, when you remove this little piece right here, if you can get it off, there it goes. When you use it through your template, you get the piece you're going to put in. Then you put this back on there, run it back through the template, and you get the hole for this to go in, and they match pretty tight. And so that's the plan on this, and what I've done is took the same template that I used to cut this piece out. This is it here. Hot glued me on some boards here for clamping. I'm going to set it on here like this. Now, I've taken a little time to make sure that I get this as level as I want, and that's the reason I turned it first, so I could get it to be. I can only go so deep with the bit, so I wanted to get it how I wanted it done. So, and you know, it's time right now to make sure you're putting it on right. Putting it on upside down will make it have a whole new meaning. But these are my deals here to clamp it. I got my blade locked down so it can't turn. Looking at where I want it to go, making sure it's straight. Put my clamp on right here. That way my clamps are out of the way of my router. It's tight on here, it won't move. So I'll take a few checks. You get one shot at this. It ain't like the other one where I could do it 3-4 times. This one here you get one shot. So what I'm going to do is make sure that everything is right before I go any further. And I'll see you back when I get the router running. Okay, I've been spent a little bit of time here trying to get this where it fits real tight, and it is very, very tight. And about ready to put some glue on it and get it in there. And what I'm going to do first is, I've got some areas in here that didn't go all the way through. I've learned that when you're putting something like this in, you don't give a place for that air to get out. You can't push it all the way to the bottom. So now it's got a place for that air to push all the way through. I shouldn't have any issues now. And let's get started on this. Before I glue this up too, I want to show you how I did my grain. I did the grain running this way because this is the direction I wanted it to hold the most, and it holds better than this way, and I can snap that right off right there. But I did my grain this way so that it can't pull this way anymore. Not too concerned about this side. What we are going to do is we're going to clean all this out, and we're going to put some epoxy in there, do a little filler on it. Okay, let's go ahead and get this glued up. Okay, I've spent a good bit of time cleaning this out. Got it like I wanted inside. Also got some masking tape put on this inside, because I'm fixing to put this epoxy in. I don't want it to run all the way through to the bottom. And when I get ready to do this epoxy, what I'm going to do is put some marble dust in it. Hopefully that'll give me a pretty unique look. Kind of wanted that white look to it. Alright, well, let's get started with this. Hey everybody, we'll see the end of it here in a second, but I just want to say today's 27th of December. I hope everybody had a great Christmas, and I know I did. Time to be with families and friends and celebrate the reason for the season. But before I go too far, I want to say thank you very, very much for my 1,000th subscriber. I got that today, and that was so humbling and so honored to have that number. You guys are great. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to the project. As you can see, it really turned out, I thought, beautiful. Can't even feel any of this. As you can see, I made this out of water oak, spalded, and this was actually a termite tunnel that I left in it. This is red oak, this is pine on this top, and the epoxy inside with the marble on it. I think it turned out pretty good. And it has a 3 coats of sanding sealer, and it has 3 coats of polyurethane on it. You saw I sanded it in between. So I think it turned out pretty good. If you saw me do my logo on the bottom, I used a little Forstner bit for that, and it has no tip on it, it's gone. That's why I wanted to trowel in the very beginning. I just hold it pretty good, and that takes my little knob off, recess it so I can get my my logo in there. And you can see here I trimmed down that top, made it just a real small trim piece. I didn't want it to be so overpowering to take away from the rest of the bowl. And about all I can say. I'm so glad that y'all got to watch, and glad to get back into the shop turning stuff. Since I got my new lathe, a lot of my jigs and things that I had for it, my other lathe don't fit this one, so I've been building a new steady rest and stuff like that. So it feels good to get back to actually doing what I like to do. So okay, well, like I say, I hope you had a good Christmas. Hope you have a good New Year. And once again, thank you very much. I'm very humbled. Have a great day.